I built this router table using MDF for the top surface, and it was really flat and very slick. And I bought this router insert from Rockler, and it's been sitting on the shelf for a while, and it's time to put this insert into the tabletop. On the other end of this tabletop, I'm going to build a downdraft dust collection for an area to do sanding. So I began using all of my measurements to find the exact center location where I wanted to put the insert. And then I traced the outline of exactly where I wanted the insert to be placed. I decided not to do this with a template. I decided to do this with a straight edge. So I used my sheetrock straight edge and measured it out and decided to route out one side at a time. For more precision, I also started using a machinist scale rather than a tape measure to make sure that that straight edge was in exactly the right spot every time. I also clamped it, and I put muscle on those clamps to make sure that they wouldn't move. This strategy turned out the best for me so that I could get exactly straight lines and straight slots for this router table insert. Once all the routing is done, I used a saber saw to cut out the center section, and that would leave a lip just for that tabletop insert. You can see the insert fit perfectly, but you can also see my little bad cut on the bottom right hand side. The blue router table insert requires it to be screwed down on two corners, but because of the routing and cutting with the saw, there was no material there for the screw to go into. So I had to install two pieces of plywood on two corners for the blue plate to screw down onto. Once I got the corners in place, I marked the holes and drilled them out with 5/16 drill bit. And then I began putting some wood screws into the lip. These wood screws are going to allow for a vertical adjustment so that you can make that plate be flush with the tabletop so that your lumber that you are routing won't get caught on any edges and cause any damage to the lumber while you're routing it. Once the adjustments were all made, it was time to screw the blue insert into the tabletop. On my application, I found out that the hole for the height adjustment for the router was not large enough for the 3/8 socket that was going to have to go down there. So I used a Dremel tool to route out and Dremel out this hole in the blue phenolic router tabletop insert. And now I'm able to adjust the height on the router. I screwed in the little circular insert into the tabletop, and then it was time to test this router to see whether it would work.